In episode 1, we explored how faith came first in America. In episode 2, we looked at the Protestant roots that shaped the early colonies. Today, we tell another part of the story. A smaller voice at first, sometimes welcomed, sometimes resisted. Today, we explore Catholics in early America. Not as outsiders, but as fellow participants in the American experiment. To understand Catholics in America, we need to begin in England. After the English Reformation, England became officially Protestant. Catholics were often distrusted, sometimes fined, sometimes barred from public life. In that world, being Catholic was not just a religious choice. It could cost you influence, property, even safety. So when English colonies began forming in the New World, some Catholics saw opportunity, not for control, but for breathing room. In 1634, the colony of Maryland was founded. It was chartered by Cecil Calvert, the second Lord Baltimore. His goal was practical and peaceful. A colony where Catholics could live without persecution. And here's something important. Catholics were never the majority in Maryland. Many settlers were Protestant from the beginning, and that shaped what happened next. In 1649, Maryland passed what became known as the Maryland Toleration Act. It protected freedom of worship for Trinitarian Christians. It was not full religious liberty as we understand it today, but in the 1600s, it was a meaningful step. Maryland became an early experiment in coexistence. Not perfect, but intentional. History rarely moves in straight lines. After the Glorious Revolution in England, Protestant power strengthened across the empire. Maryland was no exception. Catholics lost political control. At times, public Catholic worship was restricted. Anti-Catholic suspicion was common throughout the English-speaking world. It wasn't uniquely American. It was inherited. The colonies carried European tensions with them. By the time of the American Revolution, Catholics were still a small minority, but they were present. Charles Carroll of Carrollton was the only Catholic signer of the Declaration of Independence. He risked everything for the cause of liberty. His cousin John Carroll later became the first Catholic bishop in the United States. After independence, something remarkable happened. The new Constitution banned religious tests for office. The First Amendment protected the free exercise of religion. For Catholics, this mattered deeply. For the first time in the English-speaking world, civil rights were not tied to church membership. That was new, and it was historic. In the early 1800s, Catholics remained relatively few in number. Then, immigration changed the picture. Irish Catholics fled famine. German Catholics fled political upheaval. They arrived in large numbers. They built parishes. They built schools. They built hospitals. And they often settled in crowded cities. This rapid growth sparked fear. Some Americans worried Catholics would obey the Pope over the Constitution. In the 1850s, the Know Nothing Party rose to political power in some areas. It was openly anti-Catholic and anti-immigrant. But over time, Catholics proved something simple. They were Americans. They worked, they served, they voted, they fought in wars, and slowly they became woven into the national fabric. The Protestant roots of America are real. They shaped early institutions, laws, and culture. But Catholics were there too, sometimes protected, sometimes pressured, but always part of the unfolding story. Here is the deeper truth. Religious liberty grows stronger when it protects minorities, not just majorities. The Constitution did not create a Protestant nation. It created a nation where Protestants, Catholics, and others could live under equal civil protection. That distinction matters. Catholics in early America were not outside the American story. They were part of it from the beginning. From Maryland's experiment in tolerance to the lone Catholic signer of the Declaration, to immigrant neighborhoods that reshaped American cities. The story is layered, complex, human, and still unfolding. This is the American story, and it belongs to all of us. Thanks for watching Patriot Hippie. If you enjoyed this story, please give me a like. If you want to see more, subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. Until next time, peace, freedom, and the American story.